Good evening to all of you, and thank you for joining us on 13 Plus. I'm Mary Coleman. Let's jump right into some of our stories for this evening. We now know there were 3 lap babies on board the Alaska Airlines Flight 1282 when a door plug blew out at 16,000 feet. Thankfully, the unrestrained children were not near the gaping hole on the side of the plane, but the fact that they could have been has raised the seemingly obvious question: why are car seats required for kids on the road, but not in the air? National investigative reporter Brendan Keefe explains tonight.
Sarah and Sky Carter always buckle up their son for a trip at 50 miles per hour.
Folks, good morning to you. Welcome aboard from the flight deck.
But they never buckle Kylo at 500 miles per hour.
Sky is breastfeeding, so it makes it very convenient to be able to hold him.
There were 3 lap babies on board Alaska Airlines Flight 1282 when a door plug blew out at 16,000 feet. By chance, the unrestrained children were nowhere near the gaping hole in the side of the plane.
Put their children under 2 in their own seat in a FAA-approved car seat so that they are secure and that they are safe.
That's the government's recommendation, but not the rule. Families still bring car seats to the airport, but many check them as luggage because kids under 2 travel for free when on a parent's lap. Studies show requiring parents to buy a full-price seat for their babies would not only cost more money, statistically, it could also cost more lives. If just one family out of 5 chose to drive to grandma's house instead of fly, 10 times more children would be killed. How is that even possible? Because runway 25 is a lot safer than highway 85. In the United States, there's 1 passenger car death for every 200 million miles driven. But for air travel, there's 1 fatality for every 10 billion miles flown, billion with a B. The FAA has determined that requiring child safety restraints on aircraft would actually kill more children in car crashes every year than it could possibly save from plane crashes. Would it change your decision on shorter trips? Would you drive instead of fly?
Yes, on shorter trips, yes.
During our interview, there was a car crash just outside the Atlanta terminal. In fact, ambulances at the busiest airport in the world respond to far more car crashes than plane crashes. Canada's aviation authority made a similar calculation as the FAA after a lap baby was killed there in a plane crash in 2012. Transport Canada determined a safety restraint requirement would kill 10 more babies on Canada's highways over the same decade that would save just 1 from a plane crash.
Well, it's kind of apples and oranges talking about proportion, but it feels like they flip-flop that as a reason to justify not pursuing safety.
Megan Gibson is a child passenger safety specialist with Children's Hospital of Atlanta.
Turbulence is a really big issue, so that is where we're seeing a lot of these injuries come from.
If there's turbulence, is that something you're concerned about?
No, because we wear our seatbelts and he's never not held.
But a requirement would actually force parents to pay for 2 seats for their baby, the plane seat and another car seat if theirs is not approved by the FAA.
At the same time, the government is saying you can't just bring any car seat on an airplane. It's also saying you don't have to bring one at all.
It is very frustrating. When you work in injury prevention, it's always point, counterpoint for many things.
When the risk is low and the cost is high, many parents are choosing to hold their children's lives in their hands.
Now, if forced to buy a ticket for their baby or toddler, some people may choose to travel not at all, so the FAA statistical analysis may be flawed a bit. Now, there is a workaround. Some parents say they book a window seat and an aisle seat for themselves, and they hope that the middle seat will be empty. If not, they gate check their car seat and hold the baby in their lap, as you saw there. On to our second story for this evening. Leave it to a viral trend this Valentine's Day to help you save some money or just to give you some unique ideas for a date night. Consumer investigator Rachel DePompa finds out about the alphabet dating in Watching Your Wallet.
TikTok always coming through with the fun ideas for Valentine's Day. Sarah Bigham with Eventbrite told me about this one. It's called alphabet dating. That's where you pick a different letter of the alphabet and choose an activity centered around that letter each week or every other week.
A would be axe throwing or apple picking. B would be bowling or the ballet. C would be a cooking class or even a comedy show. And the list goes on and on. But the best part is that all of these dates are incredibly affordable. In fact, some of them are free and the others are going to be starting at anywhere between $5, $10, and go upwards of $20 or more.
Depending on what activity you pick, Big Ham says the TikTok dating trend isn't that expensive and it can be for anyone.
It can be a friend date, a girl date with your significant other or your spouse, whether you're just starting to date. In fact, you can even throw your kids in the mix. I know I like to go on special dates with my 4-year-old, mommy and son dates.
She says the letter D could be to sign up for a DIY course together. It really spans all ages. She says you can search Eventbrite by zip code and find lists of all sorts of local events and activities that may fall under the perfect letter of the alphabet. With this Watch in Your Wallet, I'm Rachel DePompa.
What a cute little idea there. We hope you're having a great evening and enjoy this live look of the Tucson metro area. You can once again see the sunset out there in the distance. We hope you will join us for 13 News Live at 10 for more of your news and weather. If you don't, as I mentioned yesterday as well, we don't mind. We just hope you're having a great evening overall. And we'll see you right back here tomorrow.